I'm Christine White in the Beads Incorporated studio. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am excited to bring you this project today. It's the ultimate and cool and chic and perfect for people who love jewelry but may not be into all of the glitz and sparkle that comes with beaded bracelets. We are making leather wrap bracelets that are so easy to create with beads at home and wire and a few simple tools. Materials that you'll need to create this technique are 3 to 5 feet of flat leather, suede, or deerskin, beads of your choice, 24 gauge wire, wire cutters, flat nose or chain nose pliers, and a Sharpie. I prefer to use soft deerskin for this technique. It usually comes in pre-cut lengths and comes in a wide array of colors. We'll start by taking our deerskin. It's two-sided usually, so it has a smoother side, and we want that smoother side to be up. We're going to wrap our deerskin around our wrist 5 to 6 times, having it lay nicely on our wrist. And when we're finished, we want to have about 6 inches, maybe even a little bit more, hanging down on the bottom side of our wrist. That's where we'll go to tie the knot when our wrap bracelet is done. This is where our Sharpie comes into play. We'll take the cap off that Sharpie. Now we're going to just draw a simple dot where we'll want our beads to be added when we go to wrap them. So evenly space those. Think about how many beads you're adding. Got all mine on there. All right. So now we'll unravel that, and that's a useful guide for us now that we've taken that off of our wrist. We're using our 24 gauge wire to wrap beads onto the front smooth side of our leather. So we'll find that first dot. I've pre-cut pieces of our 24 gauge wire about 1 foot long. Again, more wire than you need is always better than not enough. We will start by making a wrap to the side of where our first bead is going to sit. 2 to 3 times, a nice firm wrap, and then we'll snip off our extra on the shorter side of our wire. I like to flatten my wrap. It holds better to the leather that way, keeps it from moving. Next, we're ready to add our first bead. String this all the way down to our wire and our leather. Hold it in place flatly against our leather, and then just get ready to wrap on the other side. We want nice strong hands here, nice deliberate actions to get clean coils and wraps. Snip off our extra once we have about 3 to 4 wraps there. Use our flat nose or chain nose pliers again to flatten that wrap. And we have our first bead that's gonna lay flat against our wrist. Move to where our next dot is. There it is right there. Take our next piece of wire, make a nice clean wrap to the side of that dot, keeping in mind that we want our bead to kind of hit at the center of that dot. Snip off our extra on the side. And then on this one, I'm gonna go ahead and add 2 beads at once. This is kind of fun. You can add sections of beads. You can even do a little section of several small beads if you wanted to. You can get really creative and use up odds and ends. So I'm gonna wrap first after that larger bead, just a simple 1 wrap. And then find the hole on the smaller bead and wrap that next to it. Twist this on the other side 2 to 3 times, and then cut off our extra. Flatten that wrap, and that's gonna hold that in place nice and flat on the front side of our leather. And then we're ready to add our next bead. Looks like that one I have right next door. Wrap again. Snip off our extra on this side. Flatten those wraps. We'll add our next bead. Bring this bead down, and you want to kind of wiggle that into place so it's laying really nicely against your leather. Holding that in place with your left fingers, go ahead and wrap with your right hand. Flatten that. All right, moving down just a little bit. Take our wire again. We're getting close here to the other side. We'll add our bead. Here. Snip off our extra. Flatten that bead. Looks like we've got one more and we're almost done. Bone bead. You want to really stretch out your leather while you're wrapping. That'll keep it nice and tight. All right, there we go. So now we've got this really cool wrap bracelet. And to put it on, we're just going to make sure to keep that flat side with all of our beads up. Wrap it around our wrist. And the goal is to have all of those beautiful beads land right here on top, and they do. That was what we are going for. There you go. Looks like I have some extra here at the bottom, so I'm gonna snip a little bit of that off. And then our bracelet is going to tie with a simple double or single knot. And you can get really creative with this. So you can add charms to the ends of your leather, like this right here. So that's adorable hanging down. You can even add like more interesting beads. You can add crystals if you want to go for a more formal look. You can add a lot of beads. You can add just a few beads. So hopefully you saw that jewelry doesn't have to be difficult in order to be beautiful. Thank you so much for joining me today. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons below, and please check out all of my other jewelry making videos.